Good morning. I'd like to call the October 8th meeting of the Downtown Development Authority to order. The time is 8 o'clock. Let's begin with roll call. Meredith?
All set, thank you.
Thank you. The record will reflect those who are present. In front of you, you have today's agenda. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda? If none, is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Any other discussion? All in favor, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. Motion carries. You also have the minutes in front of you from the September 10th, 2025 meeting. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Any further discussion? Motion carries.
Oh, wait, do we have to vote?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Thank you. Rookie here. All in favor, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. Motion carries. All right, here we go. I have a few comments as acting chair at this point in the agenda. So bear with me. Per our bylaws, I'm currently serving as acting chairperson. Typically, our officer elections are held in June. While we could consider a special meeting to address officer roles before then, those next steps have not yet been determined. What I can say with confidence is that the executive team has met several times since our last full board meeting, and we are unified in our commitment to keep the DDA laser focused on supporting our downtown businesses and advancing our strategic plan. On that note, our director, Jay Marks, our treasurer, Jacob Cooper, and I recently attended a board training session hosted by the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. It was a great opportunity to confirm some of the things we're doing well and to be reminded of the essential roles that each of us play as board members. I'd like to go over those quickly right now. There's a fiduciary role, ensuring that we use our resources responsibly. A governance role, maintaining accountability and alignment with our mission. Direction setting, helping define where we're headed. And serving as ambassadors. So we are visible advocates for downtown Adrian. In plain terms, our job is to ask smart questions, make thoughtful decisions, and help tell the story of downtown Adrian. You may notice a few small tweaks to how our meetings are run as we work to re-energize the board and our committees based on what we learned. One of our main goals is to strengthen our committee structure and ensure that every board member is actively engaged, whether that's leading a committee or contributing as a member. As part of that effort, Jacob Cooper has graciously agreed to co-chair the organization committee with me and to continue leading the fundraising committee. Thank you, Jacob, for stepping up in these important areas. While our officer structure has not yet been determined, please know that the executive team is committed to leading with enthusiasm, teamwork, and transparency. We'll continue to listen, to collaborate, and to have constructive conversations as we work toward one shared goal, making downtown Adrian the best it can be. That concludes my remarks. Any questions for me? All right, if not, I'll move to the finance report.
Yes, good morning. In the packet, you'll see our normal financial reports, the revenues versus expenditures, and the balance sheet that we always provide. We are moving along quite well. We do have a very healthy fund balance. If you look in comparison to our budget, we are lagging a little bit on the revenues, and that is a result of the fundraising committee, which you'll hear about a little bit later on. So you'll likely see a push for fundraising in the next couple of months to help backfill those dollars just so that we are in line. But all in all, we're in good shape. Expenses are in line with budget, and we just need to backfill some of those dollars. Questions?
Yeah, questions for Jacob?
Thank you.
All right, is there a motion to accept the finance report as presented?
So moved.
Okay, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. Motion carries. Let's move to the Main Street Director's Report. Jay?
Good morning. Thanks everybody for being here. I wanted to touch on first, we always get a lot of questions about visitors to downtown, and we've had the opportunity and been very gracious over the past couple of years to get reports, not only that we've paid for from Cobalt 360, but also from National Main Street through Placer AI. We got some information from Cobalt 360, and initially it was good and it was too good. And so I questioned that, and there were some settings that they had that were different than what we were getting from National Main Street. And then I got that information again, and it was still better than I anticipated. I would like to have thought that we were doing as well as that report said, but then I reached out to National Main Street, and what I found out was Placer has tweaked their algorithm. Surprise, surprise, right? Everybody, they're trying to continually update. And so just to give you an example, our initial report for 2024, we had 236,000 visitors that came to downtown. Well, when they pulled the updated report for 2024, it said that we had 272,000 visitors. So a significant increase. So that's showing a different algorithm and different data. And so that's why the Cobalt 360 report showed that it was good, but it was better than we anticipated because they're capturing different data. They're capturing more data at this point. So I wanted to have apples to apples. So I had National Main Street pull September 24 through August of 25, the end of August 25, and it showed 0.5% decrease in visitors to downtown. So well within the margin of error. I think the margin of error is plus or minus 3% for this particular gathering of information. So we're well within that margin of error. And we're right in line to where we were. We have 1.5 million total visits to downtown, which is great. We're not losing, we're just not gaining it at a rate that would be, ideal. But considering all of the headwinds we have economically, I think that's great that we're not losing. When you look at the maps that are included in your packet, so the first map, and these are very interesting. The first map you see is going to be visitors. So that 272,000 number, you will see that we're pretty flat within the county. When you get up towards the Jackson or down towards Perrysburg, Ohio, we're losing. You see those red areas. But if you look towards Detroit, Ann Arbor, you're seeing a lot of green and dark green, which means that we're pulling people from larger communities that have higher disposable income into Adrian. And that's what we want. We want people bringing that larger disposable income in to visit us. So those are all great things to see there. The second page, this is the visits. So if we have 272,000 visitors, they're visiting about 5.5 times. And so we want to see where the frequency of those visits are coming from. And as you can see in kind of Adrian and in the immediate area of the city of Adrian, they're not visiting as frequently. They're down about 2,000 total visits, or about 2.5 or 20,000 visits, about 2.5%. But what we're seeing is Tecumseh, kind of in that Morenci southwest area, and even up by the lakes, where there's again more disposable income coming in. They're visiting more frequently. So I would imagine they're shopping more often. They're spending more money coming in and seeing us. So I think this could be because of the economic status that we're in right now, right? Our community, we know, struggles financially. We don't have the disposable income. So if you're living locally and don't have that disposable income, you're not going to visit as frequently to visit our shops and to our restaurants. But if you're coming from the outside community, we have a larger disposable income. It gives you more opportunity to come in and shop and spend and do the things that we hope we're doing. So all in all, it's not a great report, but it's not a horrible report. It's kind of in that we're treading water. We're doing what we can in the current economic environment. So I feel good about that number. Yeah, absolutely. It's cell phone pinging. So it's all geofenced. So geofenced around the downtown, have to spend at least 10 minutes in the area. So traffic won't get you, it won't do anything else. credit card data is really hard to get an accurate reflection on, especially with small businesses, because a large percentage of those transactions are cash.
Mhm.
And so you've got to, it's hard to get a good representation of that. We don't know exactly what the consumers are doing, right? We know that they're visiting. We hope that that translates into dollars, into sales. I would be interested at some point talking to you to figure out what the Croswell's seeing and where their people are coming from. If it correlates to this, I mean, that would be interesting. If it's completely different, that's even more interesting, right? Just to see just how it correlates and what happens. So I think it's great to have this information. So we've got good data to look at. Are we doing what we say we're doing, and are we effective at doing what we say we're doing? And I did include the 2024 updated placer information in there, so you can kind of see how we've trended and where we've gone. There's some comparison data in there as well. I won't bore you with all of that. The last one in that, well, one of the last ones is the heat map, which is just interesting to see where everybody comes from, right? If you look at where all the visits are, give you that, all that purple platter, this one right here, Darcy, looks just like this. It's interesting to see that heat map and where people come from in the communities. And, you know, we go well up into Warren, Farmington Hills, we're pulling people from Pittsfield. So it's great to see people coming to our community outside of that. Again, nothing's changed. Our biggest hour for visitors is 6 p.m. So, you know, as you're talking to businesses and they're talking about, you know, their business, let them know that 6 p.m. is when we trend for the most visitors in our downtown. Obviously, Friday's our busiest day, Saturday second, and it kind of goes from there. All right. Any questions about that? All right. Next thing I'd like to talk about storage building. So I'd had conversations, last meeting we passed a vote to purchase a storage building. And I had conversations with our previous zoning administrator, the acting administrator, and DPW for permission to put a building in. It was brought to my attention that the building of that size is not allowed by state code. And so we're going to be exploring other options for storage as we continue to be good stewards of the money we have. We're looking at making some capital purchases, so we're not renting things continually, and we're going to need some places to put those things. So as we go through that, we're looking at some opportunities, you know, within the downtown or adjacent to downtown, that we might be able to rent a space to store some of our stuff. More information is that as we get closer. Mural update. If you look, you'll see the representation of the mural that was decided on by the design committee. Not design committee, the mural committee, excuse me. Where we are is the artist and the company that's creating the application have been in communication. We've approved the proof. I will be submitting the procedural permit through the building department to get that approved. We have an easement for it. And so I'm just waiting for Shane to give us Shane is the vendor printing it, give us the schedule, but I would think within the next couple of weeks, we'll have this mural up and we'll schedule an unveiling. And I mean, it'll be up before we do an unveiling probably, but unless we can get Shane to put a sheet over it or something. But we'll have like an official unveiling of that and get everybody there for some pictures. Next item on the list, then and now. So if you look at the next picture in your packet there, this was from Mr. Jacob Cooper. He was in Traverse City, and Traverse City has these signs on their poles showing what historically the downtown looked like. I think it's a pretty cool opportunity to do something like that. We will need to, as Darcy mentioned in her opening comments about going back to committees, this would be something that would go to the committee level. We learned through the board training, you always want 3 people to help push your items forward. So we need a champion. We need 2 other people to be on that committee, looking at picking out the signs, working with that. And I would help kind of with logistics and going through that. So if you're interested in being part of that, please let me know, and we will get you on that project and then move forward with that. We have made contact with the Historic Museum, and they are 100% on board. They said, we have a ton of pictures, come pick some out. We were hoping they would give us some of their best shots to save us some time, but they want us to come take a look at it. So I think maybe walking the streets before we go would be prudent. That way we can get, man, if we had a picture right here to see what this shot looked like, or right here. And I think probably a couple on each street, maybe going each way to kind of see what they look like in just in the core four, maybe. I don't know how many pictures we would have of Winter Street or Church Street or anything like that. If we do, I think it's great to do that. That way we can improve the circulation. And once we do that, once we have them, then there's something we can put a QR code, we can put them on the website, provided some additional history from the historical museum to talk about the time and the place and what was happening kind of in the community at that time. So I think partnering with the historical museum, getting them some recognition, but also kind of paying a tribute to our historical nature of the downtown would be a great opportunity. So thank you, Jacob. And again, if you're interested, please reach out to me and we will get that assigned.
I'm in. Do you want a community member as well to sit on that board? Because I know somebody that helped with the historic walk and he's a really, really
Yeah, absolutely.
loves Adrian. He's an art professor. Like,
Yeah, have them
he's
reach out.
cool.
That'd be great.
Okay.
All right, next thing on the agenda is national visit. So National Main Street will be visiting on Wednesday, October 15th. This is their annual visit with us. This is the second year in a row they've actually been in person. So next year we will probably be remote. But it's great. This will be the third time within 12 months that National Main Street has been here. Actually fourth time. Now that I think about it, fourth time representatives from National Main Street have been here. Obviously paying a lot of attention to our community. They like what they're seeing. They like the programming, how we interact and partner. So the agenda's there. At noon, we're meeting with the director. 1:30, we'll be meeting with the city. So we'll need to make sure that the mayor has that and new administrator Baugh has that on his schedule. I know Vince Emmerich had it on his schedule, but I don't know if you have it on yours yet, but we'll thank you. Yep, we'll make sure to get with you on that.
That's here, Jay.
It's here at the city. Yes, I don't know exactly. We haven't determined
Okay.
spaces yet. Typically the noon meeting with me, we walk and talk. So we'll go through and do a tour downtown and talk about what's happening, where we are with certain, businesses and projects, et cetera. They come back at 1:30, talk about to the city, talk about the partnership. If the city has any questions about what Main Street does and how it works. And then at 2:30, meeting with the board, very much the same thing, high level. How do you feel? What's going on? What kind of support? So if you haven't already blocked that on your calendar, please do so. If you can make it, that's great. If you can't, we understand. It is in the middle of the day. Just note that's 2:30. If there are more than 7 of us that are going to be here, we will need the acting board chair to call a special meeting for that opportunity. So please let us know if you're going to be there. Last thing I want to touch on is Michigan Association of Planners Award Dinner, which is October 22nd. I will be in attendance to accept our award for our downtown development plan from the Michigan Association of Planners. As we had previously mentioned, the opportunity for you to attend is there. I will just need to know by the end of this week if you want to go. It is in Kalamazoo. And we can obviously help with any of those accommodations or travel. It's something that we do budget for to have that opportunity. I just need to know if you want to go very soon, so I can make sure that we've got dinner reservations and then anything that we may need from there. So if you could email me by Friday, that was great. I'll send out a reminder tomorrow and go from there. Any questions about any of those things or anything I haven't touched on?
Jay, what was the date of that again?
The 22nd of October.
Thank
It's
you.
a Wednesday, I believe. Yes. Wednesday evening.
Other questions for Jay about any item?
Just on the awards dinner, if you don't want to spend the night, I am going to go and come back the same night if you want to ride.
Jay, I have one question for the record. Will you remind us who collaborated on the mural? I don't need names per se, but what entities were represented with bringing that to life?
Oh, yeah. Adrian College, Siena Heights, Adrian Public Schools. We had a representative from a couple representatives from the board. We had a city commissioner on it. It was very broad art community, and I don't know if you've tried to corral people mostly. Don, you can understand this. Trying to corral art people is a very challenging thing sometimes. So we were able to get it done and get it decided. It's just a little bit of challenge sometimes.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? Thank you.
Hmm.
Next we'll move to the report from the city of Adrian. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity. Excuse my brevity, but I can guarantee you my written reports are quite long. You can ask the mayor.
They are very extensive.
And they'll probably grow and we'll fluctuate with that. But again, thank you for the warm welcome to Adrian. Each of you in different ways, especially the mayor. Thank you for inviting me to this community. Also to Jay, thank you for your transparency and just trying to help me wrap my head around all of the things that are going on, not only with the DDA, but the important items that are going to help move this board and our community into the future. But for the report for Adrian, I think it's real important to focus to talk about the passion. The staff has been outstanding. The citizens are outstanding. Just the passion's amazing. I was talking to Donna about that just a few minutes ago, but we're working on a lot of infrastructure items, a lot of things that may improve the optics of our community. And we'll report more about how we're going to communicate that and being a partner with our citizens. I think it's real important and clearly communicate expectations and help them achieve, what everyone wants is a beautiful community. Some of the things that we're looking at too is the transparency of all that, explaining the why. What I've learned along the way is explaining the why helps. I've been poor at that. I've been good at it. I like to lean towards good when I can. So that's what we're really, really focused on in our communication pieces with our citizens. With the DDA, as it relates to that, just open door policy. Call me. Work with Jay, and we'll accomplish the mission when we're all aligned. So I look forward to that. Economic development and partnerships. I met with a number of community partners working on a line at Adrian College and the chamber, getting some of those meetings together and having a clear agenda so we understand our goal is to attract and retain local businesses. I think the success for our local businesses really comes along with jobs and schools. So I'm not ignorant to that fact. So jobs and schools are very important. Whatever I can do to support the commission and their vision, focus on jobs and schools. Another thing I think it's important, the events, outstanding, well done this weekend. First Friday was fun. So I just want to make sure the city is supporting however we can support our downtown businesses. I've had a number of communications with local businesses, so I'm in that listening phase. So I'm not imposing any will at this point, but what I do is going to work with our city staff and Jay to bring forth a good experience for everyone that lives, works, and plays in Adrian. Looking ahead, just open door. I'll come back with maybe more clear and concise reports in the near term, but I look forward again to be a partner and the leadership that this board provides to my office, and we'll run it through our commission, the city commission, and the mayor. So thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. Yeah, any questions?
All right.
Thanks again and welcome to Adrian.
Well, thank you. I love that Cobalt 360 data, Jay.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I guess for all of us and people maybe watching, the intent is behind that is not specifically the human, just the data provided. So it's not Big Brother in a sense. It just provides good data to the citizens so we can make good decisions as a board, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, we know about what the people look like, but we don't know who they are.
Right.
We know where you live, but we don't know who you are, and we just know about you.
Yeah, and it really helps inform you folks and how to move forward. So thank you. One reason I mentioned that in a prior life, people are concerned that we're like in their house. So, so
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you. We have no board action today. Next, Jay, strategic plan development.
Yeah, so as Darcy mentioned, really refocusing what we're doing and where we're going. And we had Darcy mentioned the Main Street training that we'd gone to, and there was kind of a light bulb moment for us. We knew what our immediate goals were, but when she asked us what our development plan goals were, Jacob, Darcy, and I all looked at each other like, what are those high level things? And so I thought it was good that we bring it back and we talk about it, right? So on the sheet in your packet, you're going to see the mission statement, and it's been on every agenda, but I think it's important to look at that and, evaluate, make sure that we're doing what we want to do. I'm not here today to talk about changing the mission statement or anything, just looking at what we have in front of us and where we're going with these things. So the mission statement is the Downtown Adrian Development Authority is a group of passionate volunteers dedicated to enhancing, preserving, and promoting our rich history and vibrant arts and culture through meaningful partnerships with residents, business owners, and stakeholders in downtown Adrian. So that's a lot. It's a very big, bold mission statement. So just keep that in mind as we continue to go through this. And I think as you read through this, you'll see a pattern, right? Our transformation strategy that we keep with Main Street is downtown Adrian is a thriving, historic, multicultural environment anchored by a vibrant art scene with an abundance of playful, safe, and inclusive places where people want to be. So I think that is, almost rewording our mission statement. So I feel good about that. I think we're aligned pretty well with those two things. This year, as we've talked numerous times, right, our goals are to increase the number of visitors and decrease the frequency of their visits. So anything that we do, are we doing those two things? Is it bringing more people down, or is it bringing them back more frequently? I think that, if we were to get a 1 through 5 out of that, we'd probably get a 3 right now. We're kind of meeting the expectation. We're definitely not exceeding it, but I don't think we've fallen below it either. And then our strategic or long-term goals. And this came from our award-winning development plan. And goal 1 is making places, utilizing DDA resources to build and enhance the character and charm of downtown Adrian. Goal 2 is promoting community. Continue to promote downtown Adrian as a destination for fun and culture in Lenawee County and the surrounding region. Goal 3 is connecting organizations. Work with public and private institutions in and around downtown to build community connections and ensure a sustainable economy. Goal 4 is fostering business. Foster strategic redevelopment partnerships with transparent development processes, business assistant program, and strategic acquisitions. And goal 5 is enhancing circulation, strengthening all forms of access to and from and within the downtown area. So as you look through those things and think about some of the projects that we've been talking about and working with, they align very much and they're embedded kind of in these goals. Now, these are 30-year goals intentionally. That's how development plans work for downtowns. And so keeping them broad and very forward thinking is the thought process. And we want to make sure that we're doing that with what we do as we implement some of these opportunities. The next page, if you remember, Lee Young from Michigan Main Street came and worked with us kind of on our strategic plan. And out of that, those overarching goals were kind of put into 3 categories. And it more or less correlates with the transformation strategy, but also ties into our longer term goals. So the overarching goal is creating intentional environment and welcoming spaces to create character and charm. Enhanced is build a business environment. And then the last one was support arts and culture through promoting downtown as destination for fun and culture. So we've got the same things in there. The important things to look at in these couple of sheets are measures of success and possible projects or activities. So as we look at the Main Street process, we need to take these possible projects and measures of success and put them in a sheet. And I started populating that sheet for you. And we really go to about 5 pages in to the spreadsheet that looks kind of like this right here. And what you're going to see is along the top are those overarching goals. And then reading down are the measures of success for each of those goals. The way this works is you put a project in. Let's say it's wayfinding. You find out where it fits in each one, if it fits in each one of those overarching goals and where it fits in the 4 points categories. So design, promotion, organization, and economic vitality. And you want to, and that's kind of how you should set the priorities of your goals. Obviously, monetarily is going to be kind of the limiting factor, but if you're setting priorities, you put your goals in here and go through this process. Then, as you've identified those high level ones, you want to go to the next part, which would be the implementation strategy. So their project name, what's the purpose and intended outcome? Who's the lead? Who are the volunteers? What's the budget? What's the timeline? And then this really takes us, and it gives you that particular project and the next thing, and then it takes us to the work plan. And the work plan is really managed by the project champion, with some administrative support from staff. So from myself and Kate, depending on where that project would fall. So as we embrace more of the operational aspects, we really need to get to this point of these are being decided at the committee level. You know, this is the project we want to work on, then it's brought up to the board to approve it, and then we go through the logistical process of managing the project. Does that all make sense? I know it's a lot. We've talked about it in the past, but I want to make sure that we kind of refocus on it. We've got such a great long-term development plan that I feel that we should probably talk about this at least every other month, and just to make sure that we're not losing sight and that we all have the same focus on what our goals and projects are. Mhm.
That's which I'm very cool and interesting, putting them through this process.
100%.
Be able to start implementing it.
Yep, 100%.
These are all-
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. We will move to committee reports, promotion committee. Kate.
Good morning, everybody. So this last First Friday was our last outdoor First Friday of the season. I can't believe it's already here. It was a great turnout. We had the professional wrestling. If you were here to see that, that was quite the show. I had never seen that happen before, so that was really cool to see. It was cool to see the crowd that brought people downtown. The company CIW, ran by Phil Monahan, they were amazing to work with. Everyone on their team was really great and helpful in setting up and also cleaning up after the event. I also want to say thank you to all the volunteers we've had this season. Your support and help has been monumental in the success of these events. So Jacob Cooper, he's always there helping with setup, tear down. Darcy, Meredith, Christina, Carrie, you guys have all been so helpful. Commissioner Roberts as well. She's sometimes shows up and helps. So I just want to give that shout out and show that appreciation. This Thursday, October 9th, businesses have Witches Night. So there's a group of downtown businesses that are putting on that shopping event, and us, the DDA, we are providing some support with that event, but it's their baby. It's mostly their event. They're doing great promoting it and facilitating that. We are just providing some support with social media and the participation form. We also have our last farmers market is October 11th, Saturday. So from 9 to 1, if you want to come down to the farmers market, that's your last chance until we have, I believe the holiday market, right, is the next similar thing. Saturday the 11th is Fall Fashion Frenzy. That is our shop and stroll event. We will be having a town trek scavenger hunt from 10 to 5. The following week is Third Thursday. It's on October 16th from 5 to 8. We will have live musicians. Those performers are Brett Maynard and Mark Poseller. A unique twist we're going to have on this night is live giant pumpkin carving. Should I say what the pumpkin is going to be, or should that be a surprise? I don't know.
Keep it a surprise.
Okay, you guys are just gonna have to come back downtown on October 16th and see what we're getting carved. And hopefully that pumpkin will last till downtown trick or treat so we can display it then. Wednesday, the 22nd is what's happening Wednesday for our service businesses, and we'll be having a scavenger hunt all day from 10 to 8. Then like I just mentioned earlier, Saturday, October 25th from 4:30 to 6:30 is our downtown trick or treat event. Sponsorship information has been sent out along with forms. We're already getting responses for that, so I think we're gonna have a great turnout for that event. The promotions committee, we met not last Friday because it was first Friday. We met the Friday before, and we talked about next year events, trying to nail down the themes by next meeting. We're also going to be coming up with a pretty concrete marketing plan that's going to outline our entire marketing efforts for the year, whether it be digital, print, any other media. That's all I have.
Questions for Kate?
Kate, great job on October 1st Friday. And obviously I wasn't able to be there. My daughter is a senior and I went to a homecoming game, or not homecoming game, but to a football game where she was a senior in the band. And so really appreciate your efforts. You did a great job. Kind of your first solo event. So I know those can be a little overwhelming and daunting. So great job.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. It's been really fun. Mhm.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is fundraising committee, Jacob.
Yeah, from a fundraising committee, we've got a lot of work to do. We've kind of taken a backseat on fundraising this year. We need to get re-energized. So first, anybody who wants to join the fundraising committee, love to have you. And secondly, you're going to see like a multi-tiered fundraising approach come out. We've historically focused on larger donations and larger dollars. And while that's great, we definitely need to come up with kind of a sponsorship package, if you will, where there's more of a tangible return on investment for small businesses. So we'll be trying to get that rolled out shortly. We'll continue on some of the large donors, and then we are going to bounce around like some grassroots fundraisings. Like how do we get the $1 to $5 of people who like First Fridays and want the events to remain? So we'll be working on things like that, and then we'll kind of get a report put together for you guys as to where all of our fundraising efforts stand. Because a lot of work has been done, and I don't know that we've clearly communicated that in the past.
Questions for Jacob?
No, but one thing I did want to add, and I know there's been some discussion, and the board may not all be aware. So with the October 1st Friday, the Comstock Riverwalk, this is a great partnership between us and the city. It involves the parade and trying to keep people downtown during that time, and also the tree lighting event that happens at Comstock. And so the big contributions come from the city, right? Parks and Rec and DPW really put a lot of time, effort, and energy into that. And so for us to really be our part of of that group, we've taken on some fundraising opportunities with that event. We do need to raise money for that event to make sure it stays successful. And so we've taken that on. We're not going out soliciting new businesses. We're only soliciting those that have been funding in the past. So we're not double asking or impeding what our goal is. And I think there may be some opportunity to kind of wrap those into packages in the future. We'll have to look at what the percentages and things look like, but it would be better from a business perspective if they get one ask, right? And it includes 7 different things. It gives them a better return on their investment, and they're not talking to 7 different people. One ask, one time, one thing. So we'll continue to involve those in, but I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of it. So if you hear, hey, Jay's out talking to businesses for fundraising for Comstock, don't think that it's outside of what we're trying to do. It's just in addition to working with the city for this big event that we have. Because everybody knows Comstock, if Adrian had one identity event, it would probably be this event.
Thanks. Any other questions about fundraising? All right, thank you. Organization committee, I have put my name on this along with, and recruited Jacob to tag team with me, but, so we're really trying to make it easier for people to plug in and help the board, function more smoothly, more efficiently. And so we have a few goals that we have. And the first one is filling out these committees. And we really need the work to be done at the committee level and have a lot of people involved. So, you'll start hearing more from us as we try and figure out what, the best spot where we can kind of leverage everyone's strengths and put them in the best place, that they can help us out. The other thing is putting a little structure around our volunteer network. It's interesting because when I joined the board, I thought the volunteer came out of promotions committee, but with the Main Street model, having that volunteer network figured out is through the organization committee. So that's something we're going to try and put a little more structure on. So that it's not the same names every time that are volunteering and helping out. And then the third thing is just trying to improve our communication and tightening our communication a bit. Being better about sharing clear updates that we have, but also celebrating progress. So we do a lot of good things and then we move on to the next thing. And I'm not sure we always spend the time to say, hey, here's what we did, here's what we accomplished. And I know that's the nature of it because we're busy and then there's a lot coming at us and we go to the next thing. But, you want to take a moment to realize and celebrate all the good things that you have done. So those are kind of our goals, and we'll try and recruit a few more people to be on that with us. But again, that's our plan moving forward. Any questions for me? Nope. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Economic vitality. Do you have any?
We're just, so the committee had been working with the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And we're waiting on the report from National Main Street that has the action items and their perspective of that. And then we'll move forward with their recommendations. I think developing a web page that has the resources will be the thing that comes out of that, but we want to make sure that we get that information from them.
Any questions for Jay on that? And then the final committee, design committee.
It did not meet.
Right, design committee did not meet. Any other questions? All right, hearing none, we'll now open the floor for public comment. 3 minutes per person. If anyone's here for public comment. Do you have a timer?
You count the time while I'm coming up. Or...
Oh.
So, good morning, I'm Don Taylor. I'm a resident of Adrian now for 28 years. Currently, well, not currently serving as chair, but I'm now the past chair of Art Delicious, officially. Here to thank the DDAs for your support over the years. You may not know this, but in 2007, Art Delicious got kicked off by the DDA providing some initial funding. That was the impetus that got this all started. This year was a good year. Saturday was wonderful. The weather was great. The attendance was good. The artists did well. The food was good. The music was fantastic. Thank you for a show on Saturday night. I'll tell you what, it's a shame that more people didn't catch that young lady. What an outstanding performance she did. Sunday was another story. We have a history, of course. And of course, it started raining at 10 o'clock. We opened at 11 and it stopped at 2. But interestingly enough, people came back and some of the artists did really pretty well on. And I think you had a pretty good day on Friday too at the store. And I hope you did too, Josh. But I mean, on Sunday, excuse me. Some special thanks. First of all, to the DDA board for all your support, specifically to the guy in the middle there, to Jay Marks. Jay is a man who wears many hats. He's always helpful, and he's just a great partner. And I really, I appreciate it most of all for what you do for us. Michelle Dewey, likewise, another great partner for us. Matt, Eric, and the DPW staff are always there to help us. Jason Lawrence and the Parks Department, they just do amazing things for us. And the city clerk's office as well supports us in many ways. So, we're an all-volunteer committee. The event is free. Our annual budget is about $25,000. We raise that from artists, nonprofit fees, food vendor fees, and donations from individuals, businesses, and foundations in our community. and the Michigan Arts and Culture Council. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. So, as a Main Street program, Adrian is committed to placemaking and embracing arts and culture. Every time I read the mission statement, that pops out at me. And it's everywhere in what you talk about. The arts permeate the city like few others. I really believe that. We have the Croswell Opera House, Jerry, the ASO, Adrian Center for the Arts, Artalicious, and art programs at all levels of K-12 schools, Adrian College, and Siena Heights, at least for another few months. Art, music, and theater programs. The arts, it's in our DNA. I know you heard this the other night, Chad, but anyway, it really is in our DNA. Let's talk about some of the challenges ahead. Number one, we need more volunteers. Who doesn't? You need more people for your committee, so do we. We're very affordable. Maybe we're not charging enough. We may need to realize that we're a very, very affordable event. We need to broaden our donor base. We're hearing this everywhere, aren't we? We need to add committee members, people who are willing to make a commitment year in and year out, all the time for 12 months to help us make it worthwhile. Interesting thing, many artists are moving away from art fairs and festivals. They're getting older. The younger artists don't necessarily want to put together the whole process of having a tent, putting it together, being there for 2 days. So it's a real challenge for us. And we need to continue to bring in visitors from areas where they have more disposable income, what you just talked about earlier. Those are the people we want here. We want everybody else here. We want them here where they can buy art from our artists and the artist will return. That's the key ingredient right there. So funding is our biggest challenge. And for the last 12 years, we've averaged $10,362 a year from the Michigan Arts and Culture Council. Last year, we got no funding, nor did the Adrian Center for the Arts. It appears that we both attached the wrong form to a new format, and for that reason, we're not considered for any money at all. This year, the Republican House held out for months with no funding for Michigan Arts and Culture Council, $12 million out of $71 billion. I'm sorry. Finally, Jerry, they finally have $12 million in their for us. 1 year commitment, no ongoing commitment. So, and the NEA, the National Endowment for the Arts, we don't know how much money is going to come from there, if anything. So this is really challenging. Jerry gets money from there. The symphony gets money from there. I've gotten money from there. You know, it's a new paradigm, folks, and it's scary sometimes. But at least we're hopefully good for another year. We can all compete for the money. So, enough about that. But I will guarantee you we're going to move forward with your support and that of everybody in our community, hopefully with an enhanced community and some new leadership. As you know, maybe you didn't know, but back in the spring of 2024, Adrian Center for the Arts came to us and said, listen, we want to take on a bigger role. What do you want to do, Don? And I said, I'd like to retire at some point. So Valerie Hurd, the executive director, and I, we had a program last year, and this is all Jay's fault. Jay informed us on the morning of Artalicious 2024 that neither one of us got funding from the Michigan Arts and Culture Council for this year. And Valerie and I looked at each other and we said, let's just work on this for one more year together. You know, obviously we're going to continue working together, but it was
I'll give you a final 15 seconds.
15 seconds.
Yep.
Oh, you gave me more time than I wanted. Anyway, as you know, it's been a great event for us. It's been a great ride for me. Thank you for your support, and we look forward to working with you in the years to come. So,
Thank
boy,
you.
usually Dusty cuts me off sooner than that.
Any other public comment? All right, seeing none, let's move to board member comments. Is there any other additional board member comments?
I had actually personally talked to Kate about this as well, but one thing, not to put a little negative sting on it, but one thing that I've been getting comments about, and you know, sometimes I talked about this at the commission meeting the other night, is that sometimes change can be hard, but it sometimes is needed. And I would just like to challenge the, you know, promotion committee to look at First Fridays. And the reason I say that is we did have a lot of people down there. I will agree. I was there. I could not believe the amount of people down there for wrestling. But what I do know is that I also had the comment by every establishment that I went into shop at or to go into that it didn't bring the people into them though. It was just a different group of people. It was great to have all those people, but they weren't spending any money downtown at all. They said that their shopping was really like it had been very thin when I was going in and, you know, checking with the businesses. I was, here till 1 a.m. that night because I was DDing a lot of Siena Heights people. So I was downtown till late and I was hearing that same exact comment even from the other establishments. They were all coming up to me, the owners were there or the managers were there and they were all saying, man, we really thought we'd be really busy because it looked busy, but we didn't have anybody coming in. I mean, they eventually did when the Siena Heights people came downtown for homecoming, but that was definitely a comment. And I've been hearing that. That wasn't just for this First Friday. And I don't know what that looks like. I have no idea. I don't have any ideas, but just putting that out there to put on our radar that we are getting that comment. I frequently try, I don't frequently, I try to get to every single retail place as much as I can. Sometimes I get stopped and I can't get to all of them on First Friday, but that's always my goal. I try to stop in to the, you know, the bars, the restaurants, things like that, and just get a feel and talk to the managers, to the owners. I always want to see what that's like and also spend money down here and, you know, try to contribute as well myself. But that is a comment I've been getting a lot. And they're like, yeah, there's a lot of people here, but they're not coming in and we don't get it. They're not coming in. So I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. Just to put that out there. Is there, you know, what we can do in the future, but just feedback I wanted to share with you. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tag onto that and comment on that. Jay and I have talked extensively about the amount of money we're spending on First Fridays, and we are spending a lot of money on First Fridays to get people downtown. And the goal of the DDA is to get people downtown and increase their frequencies. So if the businesses are dissatisfied or want to see something different, we need input and ideas from them. This group has ran the gamut on ideas to get people downtown. And if it's not working, we need new ideas or we need to change how First Fridays are structured. To hear that is honestly defeating to hear that given the amount of money, time, and energy we put into First Fridays. And I would encourage those businesses to come to the promotion meeting, to come to our meeting and share their ideas. We can get people downtown, but we can't force them to go into their stores.
And to piggyback on that, over the last 2 weeks, we've been promoting a free training that took place last night at the Adrian Armory called The Last 30 Feet. And if you've heard me talk before, right, we can get people downtown, but it's up to the business to get them the last 30 feet into their store. 2 businesses from downtown Adrian showed up. There were more businesses from Tecumseh that showed up to that training than from the city of Adrian. So we do everything we can. We've used Town Trek to force people into the businesses, but there's a partnership here, right? And everybody's got to work together. I think we've done, as Jacob said, we've done our part to bring people in. It's up to the businesses to really take the next step and to help bring those visitors into their stores. And we can take the horse to water and we can shove its face in the pond, but we can't make it drink, right? We can't, we've got to work together and figure out what those things are. And that was the purpose of this training. Now there's another class next week that gives the second part of it. So I encourage everybody, Kate's done a great job of promoting it and getting it out there. You don't want us to market the businesses because we won't be good at it. There's 40 different businesses. That's 40 different value propositions, 40 different customer bases, right? We're not going to be good at that. But what we're really good at is bringing people downtown. And we've shown that time and time again. So it's really that partnership. Hey, we can get them here, but you've got to get them that last 30 feet.
I'd also like to question whether or not it's a shift in economics rather than clientele. Because, you know, First Friday, 5, 10 years ago was in a different economic environment than it is now. And so people tend to focus on things like, what am I gonna eat? That's my first priority at an event like that. And then everything else is disposable income at that point, so.
Any other comments?
I just like to kind of thank you guys. I am grateful for your willingness to step up and to be the acting board chair. I think, I was, surprised and, I feel badly for Dusty and the change that his life is going through, but I'm thankful that you are here and willing to help lead us into our future here in downtown. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, if there's no other board member comments, upcoming meetings and events,
And I think
Isn't
Kate did
that-
a great job of mentioning those that's coming up, so I think we're good there.
can you give me a little more on, are we doing downtown trick or treating? What's?
October 25th from 4:30 to 6:30, partnership with the city of Adrian. So we'll have the usual. We've got over 50,000 pieces of candy purchased already. The city will be purchasing the full-size candy bars that they hand out. We'll have donuts, cider. I think we're gonna have some pumpkin decorating. I think the Croswell has a special feature that they'll be displaying during that time as well to draw some additional people.
Rumor, yeah.
So, yeah, does that answer your question?
Nice, yeah, we'll.
Somebody might be twirling fire batons downtown too.
Is it you, Angie?
Jacob, do we need an additional writer for that?
If you ever wonder though, if he has enough candy, go by Jay's office. Just, it looks like Candyland. Like there's so much candy in there already.
Willy Wonka will be making. appearance.
Awesome, excellent, okay. If there's no further business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there support? All those in favor, respond by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carried, we're adjourned at 8:56.